whatever happens for the best and happens for a reason. We may not know the reason, but there has to be some reason, and God knows that reason. So believe in Him. And whatever, if you want to see change, be that change and take that first step. Just take that first step, and believe me, everything else will, find its way. I'm Rintu Rathod. I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Pronounce your name for me so I get it right.
Rintu.
Rintu.
It's Rintu, R-I-N-T-U, Rintu Rathod.
Rintu Rathod.
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 Yeah, that's fine.
Rintu Rathod. Am I getting it right?
Yeah. Yes, correct.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
Rintu Rathod. Okay, I like that. That's a cool name. What does it mean?
See, it doesn't mean anything. So when I told my husband that, I don't like my name because it doesn't mean anything. So he said that you should do something that, that becomes a meaning of this name. So I'm just trying that.
Hey, that's great. I love it. That's a good idea. Rintu Rathod.
Yes.
Cool name. Well, I'm just Chris Williams. That's kind of boring. So here's what we're doing, Rintu. Thank you for your time. I'm looking right now at your Facebook page, and you're standing next to a child that looks to be, I don't know, I'm going to say 8 to 10 years old, maybe. I don't know.
10 years old.
10 years old. So you're sitting next to this kid. He's sitting there. He's got a t-shirt on, a tennis shoe next to him. He's holding a picture. You got your head over his shoulder, and he's completely made of cake and chocolate.
That's right. That's right. That's my son's chocolate sculpture.
Incredible. All right, so for people listening and watching eventually, so you're a designer who's been very well educated in design and worked as your own private designer for clients. You've done so many things in the design world, and then someday you decide, having gotten married and not even knowing how to make a cup of tea, you decide, I'm going to go out and make life-size chocolate cakes of people. How did you get from designer who doesn't know how to make a cup of tea all the way to making these unbelievable sculptures out of what I've heard is award-winning, flavorful cakes?
See, it all started, when I got married, I seriously didn't know how to make even tea. But then my husband is a foodie, so I got to know that, a way through his heart is through his stomach. So slowly, I started learning cooking and all. And then when I got pregnant, I stopped working because I wanted to be a hands-on mom. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started experimenting with baking and all, and I started loving it so much. And of course, I'm a designer, so that was my strength. So then I started that, I should convert, my passion into my profession. That's how it all started.
Huh. I love it. You've done it, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm just curious, how in the world, looking at this picture, so you got your son sitting here. How does so he's sitting, if you can't see it, if you don't go to her website, you should. Just visit her Facebook page. Any way you can find her. We have all these links at isharehope.com. But how do you get him to sit up? So he's sitting Indian style, cross-legged style right now with his feet crisscrossed, and he's got his arms in his lap holding a portrait, but it looks like nothing's supporting his torso and head. How does he stay upright?
No, there is a support. There is a armature inside.
Oh, wow. Part of the design.
Yeah.
Back to your profession.
Some pipes inside, yes.
And this is creepy because I'm not sure I want to take a knife to a kid, but all of this structure is edible. So is he chocolate cake or chocolate icing? What's inside this structure?
the half of the bottom half of the cake is it's cake, chocolate cake, and upper half is just pure chocolate.
Unbelievable. Wow. That's so cool. And he's got an apple, looks like he's got an Apple shirt on.
Yes, and he's holding an iPad actually because
I see
he's
it.
very fond of his iPad.
Isn't every kid? Yeah, anybody who has one can't take their eyes off of it. That's great. Great work. Well, okay, so you know what we're doing here. We're interviewing 1,000 people around the world that are sharing hope in a special way, wherever they are in their corner of the world. So I'm just thrilled that you're being one of these people and you volunteered to do this. So tell me, where are you right now on planet Earth?
I'm right now in Mumbai, and my country is India.
Fantastic.
Okay, so that's in Asia. So Asia, India, and then Mumbai.
Love it. All right, so if you're unfamiliar with your geography, there's Asia, which is over there, right, just to the left of Australia, and kind of straight below Russia, if you went way down south,
Yes, that's
and
right. That's
right
right.
above Antarctica, and then that's the country of India. It's right down there in the bottom portion of Asia, and then where is Mumbai in the country of India, kind of geographically?
The western side,
Western
left
side.
side.
So closer to Australia.
Not that side. This side.
The west, oh yeah, the western
Opposite
side,
side.
the
Opposite
left-hand
side.
side. I'm sorry, yes. That yeah,
Australia comes on the right hand side.
that's right. Closer to Africa, working your way over that way. It's great.
In that side, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Nice. All right, well, let me ask you these questions. We have some great questions for you. You've seen them already, and let me know if you just answer them however you want. You don't have to answer them any way that anybody else has. You just do your thing, and that's what we want to hear is your version of hope in your area. So,
Right.
question 1: what is your favorite quote about hope, or your favorite even definition of hope, in your words or somebody else's?
See, these are not my words, but this is my favorite, all-time favorite quotation that, when you really want to do something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve that goal. You just need to have faith, you just need to have hope. And believe me, I have experienced it many a times. So many times. So this is my all-time favorite quote.
So when you really want to do something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve that goal. I didn't say it quite right, but that's the gist. That's great. It's a great quote. All right, who has helped you understand that? Who's shared the most hope with you? That's question 2. Who's given you that kind of hope that you can hang on to in your life?
See, I would like to give 2 names actually. But the first and most important name is, my husband. I'm not saying this because he's my husband, but genuinely, I have not seen any other person so positive, so stable in life. And Chris, once I was a very, very negative person in life. And we have been married for the last 18 years, and whatever I have changed now, I would like to give all the credit to him.
Wow. Wow, that's special.
It's a long process, Every day you have to change a little. And believe me, it is possible. You can become a completely positive person from a completely negative person.
That's great. All right, you said 2, so your husband is first. Did you say you had another one as well?
Yes. I don't know whether you have heard the name Swami Vivekananda.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm a big follower of him, and I've read his books, and his books are like, fire. His words are like fire.
Wow.
You read a word and it gives you so much of strength, so much of power.
Fantastic. two really great examples. Really great examples. I wish I could meet your husband. He sounds like a tremendous guy. That's great.
He is. He is.
And Swami, I would love to meet him too. I mean, wow, that'd be an opportunity.
Swami
Yeah.
Vivekananda, he, I mean, we are celebrating his 150th birthday
It's
with
hard. It's
these
hard to
two
reach him
people.
right now. Yeah.
Yes, you can reach out to his books.
I know there's so many people who are passed on, and I think, why did they have to leave? They just were doing so much good.
But again, they are still doing it, whether they are
Mm-hmm.
in person or not. But
Mm-hmm.
their words, their writings, they can still inspire so many people.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, well, question 3. So, Rintu, you are an award-winning chef, cake maker, designer. You're really creating things that could go in art galleries that if somebody actually could be disciplined enough not to eat it, it probably could stay in an art gallery, but people eat your art. So you've had a lot of success. You're getting a lot of recognition for what you're doing. And how do I kind of hear from you that you even needed hope? I mean, you got everything going for you. Has there been a time, can I paint a picture, take us back, when you actually needed to lean on hope to get you through something?
There are so many incidents, big, small, but see, when you lose your loved ones,
Mm.
those times when I lost my father, then immediately my mother, those were the difficult times. And of course, my husband helped me go through those times with positivity and all. I would like to give you an example, a recent example.
Yeah.
I've written that, I've started an organization called the Food Army,
Yes.
and we collect home cooked roti. I don't know whether you are aware about roti. That's a flat bread rolled,
Okay.
and we cook it at home. You cannot buy it from outside. So we collect 25 rotis home cooked, and that's how we collect all the food and send it to the affected area wherever there is any calamity happen. That's how we work.
Huh.
Okay. I don't know whether you're still clear about the idea. I have started an organization called the
Yeah.
Food Army. The idea of the Food Army is wherever there is any calamity in our country, we collect home cooked food. And what kind of food? That is rotis. We collect rotis. Roti is a flat bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm catching on. Let me repeat it to make sure I think I've got it, just because I'm unfamiliar with the food, but I get the concept for sure. So a roti is a flat bread, like it's even thinner than a pancake. It's almost a tortilla.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you
Correct.
make them at home, and your organization, you don't collect money, you don't fundraise.
Yes.
You find an area like the earthquakes that happened in Pakistan, and you would find you send the message out. People make 25 of these rotis
Yes.
at one time, send them in, and you collect them and send them all to an affected area. Is that right?
That's right.
And
That's correct.
the last time you did this, didn't you send over 100,000 of these?
Yes. One lake.
Amazing.
So what happened at that time? Sorry, we had sent a message on WhatsApp, and it went viral all over. We had asked them to inform us before sending these rotis, okay? But people just started coming with, huge boxes of collecting rotis, and there was a huge stock of rotis at our doorstep. Now, we had a permission about certain amount from the airline. And suddenly they said that they cannot take these rotis to Nepal. It was for Nepal earthquake.
Yeah.
They said they cannot take it because of some problem. And there were huge quantities of roti, and it was just not about food. They were sending their hopes, their prayers
Right.
through that food. And I couldn't sleep for the entire night because I cannot let that go waste. I cannot do that. But somehow, every time I believe that no, whatever the situation is right now, it is going to happen. We will find a way tomorrow morning. We will send it through. Anyhow, it is going to be done. And the next morning, another airline called and they said that they will take the entire consignment and they ferried it for free for us.
Wow. That's so great. Another example of the universe conspiring to help you reach your goals.
Yes, it has happened so many times, believe me. See, usually our festival is coming, Diwali. I don't know whether you are aware about it.
Oh, I've seen pictures of it. It's
This
amazing. Yeah.
So during this festival, we go and celebrate with, some of the orphanages, some shelters. We go and celebrate with those kids. So last year, we wanted to give them some new clothes. So my husband and I went to some wholesaler to buy some new clothes. So he was just curious. He said, "Why are you buying so many clothes?" So we just told him that we want to do this. We want to go there and give them. So we were there to buy one pair for each child, but he gave us 3 pairs for each child, and he didn't take any money from us.
Wow.
So, I mean, that is unbelievable. How every time I just take a single step, that's it. I just start something, and then I don't know how everything else happens, how everything falls into place.
That's beautiful. Great stories. Great example of just starting to do something and hoping in something and share. You're sharing your hope. You share your hope with somebody and they get on board and they want to do even more. That's great.
And
So,
the idea is just that when you can accept money, that's very easy. You can spend money on all these charities and all, but when you do it with collective effort, when there are so many people who want to help and who want to make food themselves, you they just send their prayers, they send their hopes to those people, affected people, and that brings all the change.
it does. So you mentioned that you were a negative person before your husband turned you into a positive person. How? Why were you so negative? What's changed? I mean, you seem to have a very positive personality. What was going on?
I don't know why, but that's how I was. I mean, if, for example, if you are going out to buy a bread, I would think that I would not get it.
Uh,
And when you think negative, when you go to a shopkeeper, he was always, out of stock. So it's just a simple example. When you think negative, the result is always negative. When you think positive, when you are hopeful, result is always positive.
yeah. I've experienced that too, and for a long time I thought, if we think negative versus positive, there's no way it can change the quantity of bread at the shop you're going to. I mean, your thoughts can't change how many loaves are sold that morning, but there is something to our thoughts being positive or negative, and it really having an impact on how easy it might be to find the bread that morning. I don't know what the difference is, but maybe it's just that we don't let the fact that there might not be bread at the first shop we stop at bother us, and it's no big deal to go to the second shop versus feeling so much weight if we can't find it at the first
Yeah.
shop. I don't know what the difference is, but it's there. It's real, and
It happens. It
it
happens.
works. Yeah.
Lots.
Cool. Hey, okay. Question 4. So you are just living your daily life on a daily basis. How are you sharing hope in and around your community, apart from the cakes that you're taking, the bread that you're taking to other places that are in a bad situation? How are you sharing hope with your children or your husband or your neighbors or your customers, whatever?
I'm an artist first.
Hmm.
So I convey whatever my thoughts, I convey my messages
Hmm.
through my art, and my medium is my cakes.
Hmm.
So I convey those messages through my cakes. So there was this campaign from our Prime Minister, Selfie with Daughter. Uh, so I made a cake, a baby cake,
Wow. Wow.
and a baby abandoned in some trash. Okay, that kind of a cake. So people came to me and
So
they
you
were,
said you said a baby abandoned in some trash.
yes,
That's a powerful cake.
this,
Okay.
yeah, that happens in our country.
Hmm.
And the motive behind this campaign was just this, to stop all this.
Hmm.
Okay, so I made this cake, and people were asking me, and they were horrified that how can you eat baby? I mean, how can you cut this cake? It's a baby. So I said, are you feeling so much for this cake? Then why don't you do something for the real girls?
Wow.
So
Wow.
another, so this is how I send my message through. Once I made a cake on food waste. I made a lady, and like that is our mother. So one side there was raw food, and on the other side wasted food. So idea was that please treat our food as our mother. Please value it, respect it. There are so many people who cannot get to eat anything. Please value, do not waste it.
These are
So
great. That's really powerful. Wow. So your cakes aren't just happy birthday and celebrating an event or a party of some holiday. You're really communicating their messages.
and as I said, I've started this organization called the Food Army.
Hmm.
And you know, even in this, the idea is, whenever there is any calamity, army reaches there first, they distribute biscuits and all. So how long can you survive on those biscuits? So the idea is to reach out to those people with home cooked food,
Hmm.
cooked with positivity and prayers. So this is not just the food. We are sending our prayers, our hopes to them.
Yeah.
And that makes all the difference.
Yeah, it does. Beautiful. Have you developed or designed a cake to express what you're trying to do with the food army? Is there a cake that's told that story?
Not for the food army, not yet. But recently we had made an event where, for this Ganesha festival,
Hmm.
we celebrate this Ganesha festival, and people then do immersion of those idols in water
Hmm.
that pollute our environment. And there is no use of all this if we just throw that idol in water.
Hmm.
So what I had done, I had, gathered 100 of other my baker friends, and I told them to make 30 cupcakes each. Just 30 cupcakes. So they gave me 30 cupcakes. That's how I collected 3,000 cupcakes. And I made a huge Ganesha painting out of those cupcakes.
Oh, wow.
I painted with food colors and icing and created a Ganesha out of
Wow.
those cupcakes. And we did that in the morning. We kept it for a day, and in the evening, I had called some 300, 400 underprivileged kids, and we distributed those cupcakes among those kids.
So
So,
that's so cool. So it was a mosaic of made of 300,
right,
3,000 cupcakes,
3,000 cupcakes.
feeding 300 or 400 kids.
Yes. So
Beautiful.
again, there was no money involved. Each and every person, just 30 cupcakes. That is not much for anybody. It's very easy to give 30 cupcakes for any baker.
Hmm.
So the idea is, whatever I do, it has to be with collective efforts and with no money involved, and for the good of the society.
I love it. I don't know many people who can think of a way to do something that's just for the good of society, a collective effort with no money involved. That's a really creative way to do things. And it makes sure that everybody can be included.
Yes, yes.
Cool. All right, question 5. Steps that I can take or that anyone listening can take to build hope or share hope. So I'm gonna walk away from this conversation in a few minutes. What do I do next to start growing as a person of hope or start sharing hope with somebody else?
Okay. See, the first thing I would like to say is believe. Believe in yourself and believe in God. Whatever the situation is, believe in miracles that it is going to happen tomorrow. And one thing, I would like to say that, whatever happens for the best and happens for a reason. We may not know the reason, but there has to be some reason, and God knows that reason. So believe in Him.
Wow.
And whatever, if you want to see change, be that change and take that first step. Just take that first step, and believe me, everything else will, find its way.
Wow. Believe in yourself.
But the first and most important thing is think positive. Not a single thought of negativity should come into your mind. And the first condition is be happy. Whatever, just be happy. That will solve so many problems.
Good advice. Very good advice. Wow. Thank you so much. All those answers were great answers, but I love the answers to question 5. Just really great advice. So tell me, how can we find more about you? Your website, let me see if I get this right. Your website, I think, is Rina Bakes. So
Rini, that's Rini, R-I-N-I.
B-A-K-E-S. Rini Bakes.
R-I-N-I-B-A-K-E-S. Rini Bakes.
.com. Okay.
.com.
Good.
Yes.
RINIBAKES.com. And from there you can find her Facebook and pictures, ways to contact. This is all brilliant. I love it.
I have Facebook. My personal page is different on Facebook, and my Rini Bakes page is different.
Okay. We'll put links to all of those. So the Rini Bakes page is RINI space BAKES dash Bake My Dreams.
That's.
And what do you want people finding your personal Facebook as well?
Of course, not a problem. That's Rintu Kalyani Rathod.
Good.
Rintu, R-I-N-T-U, Kalyani, K-A-L-Y-A-N-I, Rathod, R-A-T-H-O-D.
Awesome. Rintu, you've been a privilege to have on our show today. You really have. So
It's a pleasure.
we have every guest say, because we try to figure out creative ways to use these little fun quotes. So say your name and I share hope, because nobody can say Rintu like you can. So your name and I share hope.
I'm Rintu Rathod. I share hope.
Beautiful. Yes, you do. I'm sure of that. Okay, one or two just really off-the-wall curious questions. The biggest cake you've ever made, what is it? How big and what was it?
The biggest cake is my chocolate Ganesha. It's 35 kgs
35
of chocolate.
35 what of chocolate?
35 kgs of chocolate.
Cages. Kilograms. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is around 80 pounds.
Yeah, I was converting that in my own head too. Incredible. Yeah. That's a lot of chocolate. And how about the cake that you just didn't want anybody to eat because you thought, this is the masterpiece right here. My life's work. It's right there on the plate.
See, all my cakes, I just pour my heart into them. But, I have to be that, I can't get attached to my cakes because my profession is like that.
Yeah,
So there's no point of my creating those cakes if people not going to eat that.
that's true. You have artwork that people are supposed to destroy. And then just your most embarrassing cake moment when you were maybe beginning to create cakes and you're trying recipes and you take a bite and you're like, oh my goodness, this is the worst cake ever. Have you ever made one of those?
Not that way, but I had made one cake with, a 3-tier cake, a wedding cake.
Yeah.
And on top of that, a couple was playing a piano. So when we reached to the venue to deliver the cake, it was all tilted, and the couple was the standing couple was now sleeping. So so that was really embarrassing. And then I managed. I corrected everything, and everything went well.
Impressive. All right. And what are you making next? What's your next big creation? Have you already figured it out?
My next creation, see, I'm doing this project where I'm going to teach whoever wants to learn chocolate Ganesha free of charge. So I'm conducting workshops everywhere in my country and virtual workshops who are out of country.
Wow.
And hopefully next year there will be thousands of chocolate Ganesha in my country during this Ganesha festival. So hopefully we will be able to feed so many other kids. Chocolate
Beautiful. Beautiful idea. Ah, I love it. You're so cool.
Thank you.
You really are. Well, thank you for spending so much time with us. Have a great, evening. I guess it's pretty late right now for you in India, right? What time is it?
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay. 9:35 probably p.m., right?
9:05 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're almost exactly 12 hours away from me.
Yes.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for your time. Thank your husband for sharing hope with you so you could share hope with us.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay. Enjoy
Thank
it.
you so much, Chris.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Rintu Rathod. And you have to see her Facebook account and her website. These cakes are truly amazing. This one of her 10-year-old child I'm looking at right now online is really, really, really cool. It's like a life-size kid sitting there made out of chocolate. A lot of chocolate. Anyway, check her out on Facebook, her website, all that at isharehope.com. And we look forward to seeing you there. Please find me at Chris Williams HQ on whatever social media platform you prefer. And let me know how you're sharing hope. Feel free to answer the same 5 questions as well. I'd love to know your favorite definition of hope, your favorite quote about hope. Question 2 is who's shared the most hope with you? That's a great thing. I love hearing those stories because it lets me know kind of who's out there doing what and how we can follow that example. And I can use those stories to share more hope with our audience as well. And then if there's a time and a place when you've used hope to really get back on track or had to really pull through something, love to hear about that too, because I just can't get enough of stories that encourage me along to let me know, hey, it's worth sticking things out because it's going to get better. Question 4 is really, how are you sharing hope today? What do you do out there in the world on a daily basis? Everybody's different, and there's a lot of ways we can share hope, and you have the creative ideas that I like to hear about. Question 5, your steps. What would you tell somebody if they were needing to grow in hope or share more hope today? What would you tell them to start doing right now? Just the simple ABCs of sharing hope. Anyway, jump over there. I think also if you can find me on Facebook or on the website, you can give us some feedback in the comments section. We can add you to a list of guests that are upcoming. We're also doing some of these interviews live where you can jump in and actually pitch in your questions like on Google Hangouts, and we'd love to have you there. Some really cool guests coming up. So just toss us an email address or cell phone or some way for us to reach back out to you, and we'll send you a list and a schedule and opportunity to jump on any of those calls that you'd like to. Cool guests coming up. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Have a great day.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the top 10 actions of hope from world leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.